Hey there YouTube, it's Bobby aka Paginator, and today I'm going to talk about how a writing teacher promotes books. So to give you a little bit of background knowledge, I only teach writing. In the school where I'm at, I used to teach reading and writing, but due to some staff changes and who's qualified to teach what, I now teach only writing classes all day long. It's actually a lot more fun than it might seem. I have 7th and 8th graders, and they are a hoot and a half. So much fun. But I did let the administration know I am still going to be talking about books. It's just part of who I am. I can't not talk about books, and they said, great, keep up with it. So there are a few things that I do to promote books in my writing class. The first thing is I have a classroom library. It is extensive. I have it categorized by genres. I do have a couple little specialty shelves, though. I have a specifically superhero shelf and a special shelf for the Throne of Glass series because it just needed its own little space. Not all of the series, though. Not the entire series is okay for middle school, in my opinion. But I also have regular genres like adventure, dystopian, fantasy fairy tale, historical fiction, horror, humor, mystery, paranormal romance, nonfiction, realistic fiction, verse novels. What else do I have? Sci-fi, sports, western, magical. I try to break it up into a lot of different categories for kids who might see like a massive genre section and go, I don't know what to do. I also use an organization app called Classroom Organizer.
Hey, it's Editing Bobby, just taking a minute to let you know I was originally planning to stick a little video walkthrough of me using the app to show you how it works in case you are interested in using it. But I realized that as I had recorded the screen and me clicking around in there, I had accidentally showed some of my student names and I don't feel comfortable showing those. So I will put a link to the app's website in the description box below. It is super easy and free to use.
Another thing that I do every week is we do a Book Talk Tuesday. So on Tuesdays at the beginning of class, I talk to the kids about a particular book. And it could be something that I've recently read or something that I think is just a good book to suggest to them. This week I talked about The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau, and I got a couple of kids to be intrigued, which in my book is a win. Now, it's a really great victory if I can get someone to check out the book. The particular groups of kids I have this year are not super excited about books, but I do get a few of them checking out books from me, which is super fun. In addition to Book Talk Tuesdays, I also do a yearly training on what's new in young adult literature, and it is presented by the Bureau of Education and Research, and it's a company that does trainings for teachers. And they do 2 of these trainings, one for children's books and then one for labeled young adult literature, but it also includes middle grade titles as well. So that's the one that I do every year. This year it was virtual, which was not nearly as much fun as going in person, but you know, that's the world we're living in right now. And after that training, I pick out the best books that I think are going to be ones my students are interested in. I make a Google slide presentation with pictures of the books and that kind of thing. And this year the timing was really great. I was able to watch the training right before Christmas break and had some extra money hanging around from a photography job that I had done and was able to buy quite a few books from the training. So it's exciting for kids to see new books being brought into the classroom physically and not just talked about. So I always like to have the books physically there, or at least most of the books from the training if I can get them, depending on what my financial situation allows from year to year. Sometimes I will also do a blind date with a book extra credit opportunity, and this is where I wrap up a whole bunch of books, put a couple little clues on the wrapping, and kids can check them out, and then they have to read them and write about it. If they don't do the writing part, they don't get the points. As some of my students learned this past time around when they checked out the book because they were excited, maybe read a little bit of it, and then got done. They were tired of reading, I guess, and they were like, I'm just going to give this book back. Silly children. but it is something that I do offer, just mostly to get kids to pick up books. And the last thing I'm going to tell you about is that I showcase and spotlight books that are good models for different writing techniques and elements of writing. For example, if I want to teach about vivid verbs, I always use the picture book Shrek. It is packed full of excellent verbs beyond just the normal ones that kids like to go to, like walk, run, said, jump. It's always those 4. Another one that I like to use is for sentence fluency, Gary Paulson. Like any Gary Paulson will do, but my 2 favorites are Hatchet and Harrison Me. FYI, Harrison Me is freaking hilarious. But when we look at those books, and in a picture book we'll read the whole thing, but in a longer book I'll make photocopies of pages and we'll examine how does this author do this and what is it that makes it work for them. I haven't done that quite as much this year as I used to do in the past. For some reason, COVID and grad school and everything's got my brain like spinning it outwards. But anyway, oh, you know what's another great one? Wonder. If you're looking for showcasing the use of emotion in writing, Wonder. Characterization, Wonder. R.J. Palacio, who wrote the book, or do you say it Palacio? I don't know. Anyway, not only created really good characters, but also did something interesting where she plugged in some Facebook messages and emails and text messages and things between characters. So it almost becomes like a hybrid writing kind of novel, which is really fun too. So that's another good thing that you could use that to showcase for. And probably I could sit here and talk about, oh, this book's good for showcasing this and so on for hours, but who wants to listen to that, right? If you're not a teacher and you've still watched this video, thank you for watching and listening to me chat about books. If you have any other questions about how I run my classroom library or how I promote books, how I choose books that are appropriate for middle school or anything, hit me up in the comments below. My email address is also in the description box, so if you have something that you want to explain in a little more longer context than a comment or want to ask me privately about it, my email address is down there. So it'll be the weekend when this video posts, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful, magical, and bookish weekend. Happy reading! Adios!